최근 갈링하우스가 폭스 채널을 통해서 현물 ETF 개발 현황과 현재 ETF 시장 전망에 대한 의견을 내놓았습니다. 리플은 빠르고 저렴한 거래를 제공하는 전통적인 은행 시스템에 도전하는 것을 목표로 한 글로벌 결제 암호화폐입니다. 하지만 몇 년을 걸쳐 SEC 소송 문제로 답답한 행보를 보였습니다. 하지만 작년에 SEC와 법적 분쟁이 리플 승소로 해결되면서 걸림돌이 사라졌고 최근 ETF 승인이라는 호재까지 나와 계속 파란불만 켜지고 있는데요. 이런 가운데 현물 ETF가 언제 출시될지 기대를 모으고 있습니다. 이런 궁금증을 해결할 소식이 들어왔는데요.
I want to get your take on the impact of this ETF approval. What have you seen?
Well, I think it's a very big deal, in large part because I think it's further validation from institutions and even in this case, a government entity where, the crypto has been on kind of the outskirts, I think, and increasingly you're seeing that come into the mainstream. And so I think it's a validation. I think it's further indication of more institutions coming into the crypto asset market.
And Ripple enables global financial institutions. Take us through that. How?
So Ripple at its core, we sell blockchain technologies and solutions to enterprises. We focus primarily on financial institutions. We started with a payments solution to settle cross-border settlement for banks, for PSPs. Typically, cross-border payments have been slow. They've been expensive. Using these technologies, we can dramatically reduce the cost and increase the speed and efficiency.
And now you're seeing financial services institutions try to get their own strategy with regard to blockchain underway. How has that changed the dynamic for Ripple?
Well, I think anytime you have a new technology, it's nascent, and although crypto has kind of been around for 10 or almost 12 years, let's say, it's still new. And I think you have a lot of large organizations, even JP Morgan, despite Jamie Dimon's comments about how he thinks about crypto, they're investing heavily in blockchain technologies. Now, that being said, I think in order for blockchain to thrive and for the largest population to benefit from these technologies, you can't have insular closed networks. Like the whole point, it's kind of like the internet. The internet opened up networks. You had AOL and CompuServe and Prodigy. Along comes the internet to create interoperability. Crypto does that and can do that across many banks and to provide dramatic improvements to how we think about money movement and really any transaction.
And with any new technology, I question whether or not those writing the laws around the regulation framework really understand the technology. Now, recently, you called the Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler a, quote, political liability to the United States. You said he's acting in the interests of citizenry or the long-term growth of the economy, that he's not acting on behalf of customers and users. Tell us more.
Well, look, I think Gary Gensler has prioritized hiring more lawyers to litigate the industry. And this is often described as, or kind of regulation through enforcement. If we just took the time to codify rules of the road, most of the industry in crypto wants to follow the rules of the road. Countries around the world have leaned in. Even the European Union, 27 countries in the European Union have come together to create a construct for how crypto should be regulated. In the United States, we haven't done this work. I jokingly suggested maybe what we should just do is type into ChatGPT, how should the U.S. That's more than the U.S. SEC has done. And it's frustrating. And I think, even, I guess, yesterday there was a court hearing between Coinbase and the SEC. And the judicial system continues to slap down the SEC because they're overreaching. They're overstepping what the laws say. It's the reason why they lost the case against Ripple. It's the reason why they lost the case against Grayscale. It's the reason why they were dragged kicking and screaming to have an ETF. Thus, as I was quoted, I think Gary Gensler hasn't been acting. He's been acting on almost his own agenda, not the people's agenda in the United States. I wish I had a clear answer to that. I think these are technologies that are here to stay. And the ETF approval is, I think, further indication of that.
이렇게 리플은 올해 안에 출시를 장담할 수 없지만 갈링하우스가 인터뷰에서 얘기한 것처럼 현재 가지고 있는 압도적으로 빠른 송금 속도와 1회 송금에 드는 수수료는 불과 0.0004달러로 한국원으로 10원밖에 들지 않는 저렴한 수수료라는 장점의 ETF를 접목시킨다면 암호화폐 시장에 큰 영향을 줄 거라고 생각합니다. 하지만 이런 호재 소식에도 이 시장 변화에 대해서 제대로 알지 못한다면 구멍난 투자를 할 수밖에 없습니다. 그래서 구독자분들을 위해 제가 책을 준비했는데요. 실제로 이 책은 현재 인터넷에서 판매되고 있는 책이며 무려 3만 원대에 판매가 되고 있습니다. 제가 여러분께 이 책을 무료로 나눠드리는 이유는요. 이 책을 통해서 많은 구독자분들에게 조금이나마 투자에 도움이 되셨으면 하는 마음에 준비했고, 제가 직접 구매를 했기 때문에 전액 무료로 우리 구독자 한 분 한 분께 나눠드리면서 채널을 키우기 위해서 투자를 하는 것입니다. 010-5886-4840으로 구독이라고 문자를 보내주시면 한 분 한 분 빠짐없이 모든 분께 책을 무료로 제공해드리겠습니다. 내가 의지만 있다면 암호화폐 투자 전문가의 전략과 노하우를 무료로 배워볼 수 있는 좋은 기회이니 이 혜택을 모든 분이 누리시고 앞으로도 제 채널을 많이 사랑해 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 010-5886-4840으로 구독이라고 문자를 보내주시고 무려 정가 3만원이 넘는 이 책을 무료로 받아가셔서 구독자분들이 투자하는데 큰 도움이 되셨으면 좋겠습니다. 지금까지 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 구독과 좋아요, 알람 설정 부탁드립니다.